Hi, it's Joseph Steinberg, CEO of Secure My Social and advisor to Simply Learn. Today I wanted to talk to you about mobile security and specifically the area of mobile malware. This past week there was a discovery, or I should say the creation of an exploit that exploited a vulnerability in Linux called Dirty Cow that allows a user or a piece of software to escalate privileges, meaning something starts within the Android operating system running as a normal app, but then gains system level privileges and can do things that a normal app should not be able to do. The specific risk of that is that Android normally sandboxes apps. That means that an app running as a normal user, if it's app 1, cannot access the data, for example, of app 2. It can't make changes to app 2, can't do certain things at a system level. So if I wrote a malware app for Android and I run it, it shouldn't be able to record your phone calls, for example, or be able to send out all your text messages, because it shouldn't have access to that data. Once something escapes from the sandboxing, however, and gains system level privileges, it can do exactly that. That's what exploiting Dirty Cow on a Android device can do, and it can allow malware to do all sorts of nefarious things that are really bad. What I wanted to talk about today, and this is very important for people working in the security field, is how do you recognize that an Android device is likely infected? So obviously scanning the device with anti-malware software would be a great idea. You should be doing that. You should be using internet security software. But if you have employees who aren't doing that, for example, there's certain things that you can pay attention to that are important. So for example, if your smartphone suddenly starts slowing down, not right after you did an update to an operating system, but you're doing nothing unusual, or you just did something that you may regret in terms of clicking a link or downloading something and selling something that you shouldn't have from an unknown source, and your device slows down, that could be a bad sign. Likewise, if your device starts getting hotter than it used to, which also indicates processes running. If the battery is running out faster than it used to, these are all things that you should pay attention to because they could indicate a problem. They don't necessarily indicate a problem on their own, but when you start getting combinations of these things, especially if it's right after you did something that you suspect may have led to a problem, you could be dealing with a serious issue. There are malware, just like there are malware variants on computers that have pop-ups, there are some equivalents on Android. So if you start seeing all sorts of weird messages, that's probably a bad sign. If you notice apps that stop working properly, sometimes when you have malware, it's trying to proxy between the apps and the actual internet and intercept and read everything, and sometimes those don't work properly, so it causes apps to break. Likewise, you may notice that web pages using Chrome or another mobile browser don't display properly, they don't render properly, and that's because the intercepting going on is not replaying things exactly right. In some cases, the malware may be actually inserting stuff into the web session. So you're logging into online banking in a web browser while you are communicating with the online banking system, it may be adding an extra activity that it's sending to the bank as well. So it could be just reading, it could be reading and writing, but in some cases those will disturb the way a page renders, and you may notice some changes. If your cell bill all of a sudden has unusual amounts of data usage or unusual amounts of text, that's a problem. And of course, if you notice strange text coming in, or if your friends report that they're getting strange text messages from you, that may indicate malware doing something on the device as well. Strange text could be mechanisms of somebody actually trying to communicate with the malware, or other systems out there, command and control systems trying to talk to the malware. Could be other forms of reasons why someone would be using it to send that. And I should add that there are variants of malware that have been demonstrated that allow someone to use your phone to make calls out. So they may be calling internationally on your phone and routing the communications from somewhere else where they're actually speaking. So you do want to be very careful if you start seeing weird things on your phone bill, or if you check periodically the status of your device and the data transmission levels and you see all these weird activities, pay attention and get the device scanned if you start seeing those kinds of things. There are other things that could be indicative of a problem. Obviously, if you've had a data breach, you definitely want to check your mobile device also to make sure that's not contributing to it. Service disruptions. You're in an area where you have strong signal, but you can't make a call, or you're hearing weird noises on the phone call. Those usually aren't problems related to hacking, but they can be. So if you see those in combination with some of the other factors that I mentioned, you may want to have that checked out. So these are different things that you should be thinking about in terms of validating whether or not a device may have malware on it, or I shouldn't say validating, I should say that creates a perception that you may need to pay special attention to it. The other area is, of course, if you are using it on a corporate network, or you're accessing a BYOD network that's got security, and it starts giving you alerts that you're trying to access sites that are known to install malware, and you weren't trying to access those sites, or you're sending email and it's getting blocked by spam filters because of it's coming from some unknown site, that may indicate some malware doing proxying. So anyway, those are some things to think about in terms of mobile security. Thank you. Have a great day, and make sure to check out my articles on the Simply Learn website.